Hey y'all, and welcome back to You Better Fact Check Because I Had Wine First with your host, Andrea, and your co-host, she's on this side, Monni. I don't really know what side of the screen to be on, but she's right there somewhere.
Hi. Last time it just didn't want me to be here.
I
So listen,
it was awful,
it was
but we got to see your beautiful face though.
we're here. But guess what, guys? It's still Black History Month. We still here,
Yeah,
and black is my happy color. So as you know,
yay. And we're
I'm
reading
black.
self-love, more of it for the whole month. And again, I feel like maybe I'm a hunchback or something. My words are always sideways. Last week we didn't get to see a whole lot of money, so no one really probably realized that we had on similar shirts. We were in our
Oh,
biggie zone.
we were.
We
I
were.
don't even know if you guys saw it. It was so quick. I was in and out like
It
every
was fleeting.
2 seconds. I was in and out. So
So this week's episode is, you remember?
well, we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the love of these children and
Love of children.
how people think that it's really, hard to be a parent.
Yeah, leading to our title, parenting's not hard for me.
Sorry.
Not sorry.
No, sorry. A lot
Yeah.
of people make it seem like parenting is like, oh, why? I dread this. It's so hard.
Ugh,
And
I'm in charge of a whole nother human.
oh, another.
So I feel like sometimes the social medias irritate me and they shouldn't. So I saw a woman co-hosting a show, and it's like these conversation cards or whatever. And she was like, stop telling people that parenting isn't hard, that it's the best thing that ever happened to you as a woman. And yeah, stop telling them this. It's not true. Say the realities of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like if
Heart
you
put that line.
if you want to go that route, it's like
Mm-hmm.
anything is hard,
Mm-hmm.
but not hard. It's just work.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that you do is going to be work. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take, all of these things. So I feel like if you feel like it's hard for you, then it's hard because you make it that way.
Yes.
Parenting is really what you make it. And don't get me wrong. I feel like there are a lot of times in my parenting life where I'm like, at my wit's end, but at
Mm,
the same time that doesn't make it hard. That
right.
just makes it like that to me just
Yeah.
makes it normal. Parenting
I can
shouldn't be
get
hard.
annoyed
It's
at
something
something
that
when
we
it's not
chose. It's
difficult.
something that
Yeah.
and now that we're here, it's like these
Mm-hmm.
children are people too.
Mm-hmm.
Not just about us. It's not just about, because I feel like as parents we forget we were kids too. We were
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
We were
Annoying.
teenagers
Yeah.
and annoying and
Mm-hmm.
rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that our children are kind of little mini versions of us. I feel like they're better than we are
Yeah.
because they have more. They're wiser than we are, but at the same time, it's like they're wiser, but they don't know nothing. It's weird. They know everything, but nothing at the same time.
That is so true. I feel like we maybe had way more common sense than they do
Oh,
now.
I think it
They're so
was
much more
standard with the.
emotional than we were as kids. Um, but I just don't like like you said, not saying it's hard. It's like I have a job and it's difficult some days, but it's
Mhm.
not a hard job.
Right.
This is the job as a parent that I chose. I love my children. Even though I had a difficult childbirth, it was not hard.
Hmm.
People have had worse. I guess it's like what is real to you is your reality.
Right.
And if she chooses to think that it's hard being a parent, that's fine. But don't get mad at people for saying it's the best thing that ever happened to me. Because some people are made like that. Some
Yeah.
people dream their whole lives of being a mom,
Right.
nurturing someone, helping them grow into the person that they're meant to be. So that's not hard for them because that's what they expect of themselves.
Right. And I also believe that everybody that has a child isn't meant to be a mother. I
Oh, God.
say that a lot because people think that something's just going to happen in you. Oh, my maternal instincts will kick in. But if it's something that you didn't want and you don't feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's for you, then that's a conversation that needs to be had. Like,
Mhm.
I have a daughter. She's like, I don't want kids. Like, I don't really think that that's my thing right now, or even,
Mhm.
later on. And then maybe if I do have kids, I don't want to have them from my body. She's
Right.
very body conscious. She's very, so she's like, I don't want to go through all of the things that maybe entail with having a child
Mhm.
right now. But as I get older, maybe if I get married, then, things like that'll happen. Then I'll feel like I feel a little better in a little space where I could feel like I would. She wants to adopt children versus having them from her own body, or
Right.
maybe a surrogate. Well, she's still young. We haven't really,
Yeah.
touched
She's
on a lot of
a kid.
things. But
Again, I'm like in my ripe old age of many, many years from now, Lord. I want to be a grandparent, but like your daughter, my daughter does not want to have kids because she has had that like conversation or heard that rhetoric of it's so difficult. And
yeah,
like even she thinks that I think it's hard. And I was like, it's actually not hard. I said, really, you guys are annoying sometimes.
yeah,
Really, you guys are a lot, but this is not a hard. It is not hard to make sure that you are emotionally healthy, physically healthy, fed, shelter, have things that you need and some of the things that you want. That's not a hard job.
right.
The hard part is you figuring out you. So that's hard for you as
Hmm.
the child. That is your lane that I'm here to help you navigate through, not tell you what to do.
Hmm.
So
That's true. That's true. Like you said, it's I don't feel like, and I'm not trying to put on any mom, because there are children that to me are
a
more
lot.
difficult than others. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? But
Yes.
that doesn't mean it's hard. It just means that there are other things that need to be done. There are other ways to try to reach this child. And I know
Mm-hmm.
we're working, we're busy, we're doing
Mm-hmm.
all the things,
Mm-hmm.
but we still, as parents, have to take the time out to recognize what's going on with our children, talk to our children, because I don't feel like you would feel as though parenting is so hard if you would communicate and let your children openly talk to you, openly, give their opinions, and openly, and you not feeling some type of way and
Yeah.
lashing out, because that is what makes it work. And that's where people fail to realize, like me, I'm a pretty much a
Free
free
reign.
range. I let them kind of work their way through the world. I don't really push them to do things. I don't. And it's liberating. And I also see the parents that don't like it, because it's like, how can you not tell them, or like, why would you let them make their own
Mhm.
decisions? And it's like, I wish someone did that for me, like as a child, or being younger. I wish some not even let me make my own decisions, just listen.
Mhm.
No one ever listened to me. So it was like,
Is even if you're deciding for me, ask me
mhm,
what I think.
right. Like,
So that
how
I
do I
know
feel about
where
this?
like
Right.
so then I know where your head is as a child of you're not wanting to do it or you're not understanding of it because I've asked you and whether I care what your answer is or not, I asked you what you wanted to do, how you felt about it. So then I know like why there's resistance moving forward if this isn't something you liked or somewhere you want to go. So being friends, and we've been friends for a few years now, you know that our parenting styles are starkly different. I
Yeah.
am like letter of the law.
And I'm like, okay, you're not listening. It's fine.
Right.
Okay.
Which is,
Yeah.
and our kids collectively are thriving. Like
Yes.
I see your two kids and they're thriving.
Yeah. They're doing well. And you're beautiful babies. Oh my goodness. They're so smart. That's the part for me. It's like, I don't think you realize how smart or how intelligent your children are, because you're in that bubble with them. But then when somebody's on the outside looking in, because like when people always tell me, oh my God, your daughter, oh my God, I love her, she's so smart, she's this, and I'm just like, oh, this one, what I had to go through. But at the same time, it's like, I'm proud because I know that this human being that I helped get to where she is, it's like, you guided her here, you helped her to do this. And was it work? Yes. And she's a teenager, so is it still work? Yes. But it's more rewarding, because you feel like, oh my goodness, look at this person that's growing. Look at the human they're growing into, this adult that's, she's a young adult now, but look what she's growing into. And it's like, wow. I had a hand in that. I helped with that because as parents, we don't want to go through the everyday climbing the ladder. We
Hmm.
just want to get to the top and be like, oh, my baby's a superstar, or my baby's,
Right.
a lawyer or a doctor, or they're making all this money and they're doing this and I helped them. I got them there.
Hmm.
We want that part, but it takes those
Yeah.
steps to get
It
there.
takes like no, it takes knowing them when they're young to
Hmm.
help them with the skill set to where they want to be.
Right.
My daughter says she wants to be an engineer. So there are steps that she has to take now, even as an eighth grader, to do more advanced classes, right?
Right.
She's about to go to high school, pick the advanced placements,
Hmm.
choose a more science-based elective versus choosing choir or theater. Like you have to choose where you want to go,
Right.
want to do at that exact moment. Um, which she's starting to understand and kind of loving about her journey as a little person, right? Um,
Yeah.
you remember last year, some people would have said the trouble that I was having with Austin was hard, that I was having a hard time.
Hmm.
And what I was doing was missing things. And as parents, we miss stuff, right?
Hmm.
We miss signs because we miss time. I work sometimes 14 hours, 12 hours. I work a shift that is half a day. And then there is the time that they need to be asleep or that I need to be asleep.
Hmm.
So I was missing things, right?
Right.
He was in a space where he wasn't understanding how he was feeling and the things that were going on with him. And I could have ignored it. I could have done the traditional black route, which was we don't need therapy. Mental health is not a real thing. Like mental health issues is not a real thing. I could have done any of those things that would have crippled my child emotionally or left him without a life to continue living because that's how bad things were. You remember that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the steps that you took, I mean, it is a eye opener because parents sometimes get into this thing where, oh, not my baby, we'll work it out, or
Hmm.
we'll figure it out. But the thing about it is sometimes you have to have outside help come in. You have to, make those harder decisions because sometimes these are harder decisions. Some parents don't want their children medicated, and I understand that. But at the same time, you have to really see, are these the steps that are needed? Did we go through all of the steps? Did we take the proper or necessary steps? Don't knock my baby to death and
Right.
not get your baby any help, and then years down the line, oh my god, I don't know where I went wrong, or I don't know what happened.
Right.
It's because when we ignore the signs or we miss the signs, but at some point these children are screaming out.
Mm-hmm.
They're screaming out. So to me, it's like it's not hard because it's up to us as parents to notice and look and learn and figure out, okay, I can't be in denial. I don't want to say not my baby. I want to say, yes, what do I need to do to help my baby? You
Yes.
understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't be in denial. And a lot of parents out here are in denial. And that comes for anything, whether it be behavioral issues, mental issues, whether it, even disabilities. Like, these are things that as parents, we cannot ignore. We can't just say, oh, they'll be fine, or, they're learning a little slower than okay, and that's
Mm.
fine.
Yep.
But if there's an issue, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to move forward
Mm.
versus just, staying and being in denial?
Right. And that was one of the things that I had to face with him last year was not being that like stereotypical black parent of the past who was like, I'll just make sure he gets active. I'll make sure he does these things. But what was going on with him was in his head, which is where
Right.
I wasn't. So I didn't I didn't understand it. And sometimes our not understanding things makes us pretend that it's not really happening, right?
Yeah.
Like he isn't going through this because I don't get why he's doing it. Like he's a kid. He's not depressed. He's what does he have to be depressed about? You've heard these things. This is
Mhm.
our community. And it's changing and it's evolving into a more understanding space
Mhm.
as people of our generation or my generation get older and have children and their kids are going through things that they went through that were difficult for them that their parents were like, it's fine, put them in sports or do this and this will
Right.
this will boost them up. they'll feel better about themselves if they join a team sport. They'll, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like all of the stupid things that
Hmm.
have maybe this much to do with their mental health.
Mental health. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
I
had to,
mean, it is definitely a lesson because sometimes we repeat history because we only know what we see.
yeah,
And I feel like as parents, we have to be diligent, especially parents of color. I'm
yeah.
not just trying to single out anyone, but I'm a
But
parent of
we are parents of color, so
I
this
was gonna
is
say
where
we
we're
are parents of
experts.
color, so I can only really speak from my experiences that we have to really be diligent and for our children.
Hmm.
And it's like we have to teach them other things that other other parents or other kids that may look differently don't have to,
Hmm.
we don't they don't have to teach their children.
Yeah,
I had to really get on my son. We live in a big city that is a gun city, so it's
yeah.
like I don't want any misunderstandings with the police. My son is fairly big. He's a younger kid, but he's a
Hmm.
bigger kid, so he looks older than what he is.
Yes.
And I'm like, no hoodies,
Hmm.
no hoodies, take that off, put your, make yourself look presentable. And he has really long hair, so when his braids are out, his hair is like,
Hmm.
and people think you're crazy or whatever. So I tried, and it's sad that I have to tell him to kind of tame himself or lower who
Hmm.
you are and becoming as a young black man. But
Hmm.
this is the world we're living in, and it's sad that I have to do that, but I want him to also be aware.
Yeah.
This is why you have to do this. This is why, because so it's now the one thing I will say, I don't feel as though it's hard as a parent, but I
Hmm.
feel like these are the things that we should focus on
Hmm.
that are unfair. You
Yeah.
understand, for us to have to teach our children.
Hmm.
And it's sad in a
You're
sense.
right. It's the outside things that we can't control are the things that are hard, but parenting's not
Yeah.
hard, right?
Right.
Like having to explain to my boys who are gonna be black men one day that it's more important that if you get into an altercation with a police officer to be calm and hopefully make it through so that then you have your day in court for whatever the situation or
Mhm.
misunderstanding may have been. And it's easy to say that now because we have little ones who aren't in that, right?
Right.
And no matter the compliance, we still sometimes as black people meet an end, to our demise, to the detriment of our health, anything. Like,
Mhm.
so there's no win-win with that. But that is the hard part, having to tell them that as little kids and them having to come to the realization that because I'm a black boy, I am dangerous to someone for no reason.
Or no, just because of what I look like, my skin.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. You can't even take it off. You
Yeah,
can't you can't even hide
yeah.
it.
You can
And
hide
that's
anything
which
else.
which is so weird to me, because it's like you're different just because you're different. And it's it's so sad, because here we are in the year of our Lord 2023, and
Mhm.
it's still the same as it was in 68 or
Yeah,
58. Like
yeah.
it's crazy. So I still fear for my black child, just as they did back
Hmm.
then. And I don't know. Everybody's like I just feel like we've been kumbaya and then we shall overcome for a long time, and
Yeah, to no end.
ain't no
There's,
overcoming yet.
yeah,
So
but there's no overcoming. There's a lot of setbacks, lots of pitfalls, lots of starting over. Is one of those like, when is it gonna be enough?
mm,
You know?
yeah,
Just,
but also when it comes to parents saying that parenting is hard,
mm-hmm,
what we do is discourage our children.
mm-hmm,
Because I was watching something, it was like a panel, and they had, it was like a parents panel. I'm not really entirely sure, but a student got up and she said, when you guys talk to us as parents and you tell us, like, oh, it's so hard, or oh, you guys did this to my life, or like I had to uproot my whole life
mm-hmm,
to have kids, or
mm-hmm.
it makes them feel unwanted, and it makes them
Yeah,
feel like well, dang, I don't even want to be here. If this is how you feel, like I've ruined your life, then
Mhm.
I don't want to be a reminder of that.
Yeah.
And if it's so hard for you, then I don't want to be here, or I don't want
Mhm.
to. And that's the mindset that we're putting our children in by saying these things. And they soak up everything, they see
Yeah.
everything, they
They
hear
put so much
everything.
weight on what we say, you know? It's
Yes.
not the things that it's what you say, it's the little things. It's things you say
Mhm.
in passing that you're saying in jest that you think that is not a big deal that like stays with them. And it kind of tethers to their spirit, this discord, this what's the word I'm looking for?
It's like a, I don't know.
Devaluing of
Yeah,
themselves because
diminishing of
they
the
yeah,
spirit to me.
yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, it's like we're downing them before they can even be lifted up. It's like
Hmm.
we're weighing them down with the burdens of us or how we
Hmm.
feel about it, and what, and that's not, to me, a good way to parent, because it's
Yeah.
like, why should I put what I had on me or how I feel and
Hmm.
then put it on you to make you feel bad, or like, oh well, you came along and then I
Yeah.
lost my job, or I had to
Yeah.
do it makes it
Even
like,
the
well,
little things, the God, my body didn't used to be like this. And I have to like catch myself with that one because I was thin before I had kids and I was kind of sexy, right? But
right,
I have to catch myself saying that and say, oh, thank
still
you.
sexy
And
there.
thank you. And remind them that I would, look like a marshmallow 1,000 times to have them.
To have you here, like, goodness.
Yeah.
And then there are so many parents that aren't awarded
Hmm.
this. This is such a great honor, and
Yeah.
I don't think enough people feel like this. Now,
Yeah.
me being Monty, a lot of people know me, and I'm always like, F them kids and da, 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 da,
Yeah.
because listen, kids gonna be kids and they gonna
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm still gonna be me, and I'm still gonna holler out what I need to holler out. But
Yes.
at the end of the day, my children are fed, they're supported.
Loved.
I ask them all the time, like maybe on a weekly basis, do you feel loved? Do you feel supported? Like, these are important questions, because they may say, not today, I don't.
Right.
Like, I just feel like this happened or that went down. And
Hmm.
even as siblings, they go through things. So
Hmm.
it's like, you don't want to interfere in their sibling stuff, but sometimes, you got to be a mediator. Like, okay, what happened here? So what did you
Yeah.
say? And then it's like you have to kind of get in there
Mhm.
sometimes, but mostly siblings, they'll work it out.
Yeah.
But it's just like, we just have to be diligent in a lot of things as parents, and I feel like we got this. It's not hard. It's just, we actually need to come together
Hmm.
as a community and trust each other a little more to help each other versus pushing each other out
Yeah.
and trying to just say, oh, I'm in here trying to figure it out. Don't talk to
Yeah.
my kids. Don't discipline my kids. Don't be saying,
Hmm.
everybody's so quick
Yeah.
to, when someone is trying to tell your child something right, you know what? You can't even be mad at it. That's an adult. They're saying the
Like
right things.
don't isolate yourself. You're making your job hard because there's somebody out there who has more knowledge than you, that has more understanding, who's been through it, and whether you want to take their advice or not, you should listen to it because it may or may not help you.
It's true.
I've been in there's been a lot of times where I did not want to take advice of people who had kids that were my age because I'm like, I see how your kid turned out. I don't need your advice. But they still have something of value as a parent to tell me because sometimes kids just end up how they'll end up. It
That's
has
true.
nothing to do with how they were raised. It has nothing to do with the community they came from. Sometimes people just turn out how they turn out.
And
And
there's
we
nothing
have
you
to
can do
stand
about that.
like, yeah.
Long as you know you've done your part. You've done everything that you could have done to nurture, support. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Like, these are the
Yeah.
things that we need to do. So your kid's gonna be your kid, they're gonna turn out how they're gonna turn out.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more you're around and the more contact and input you have,
Mm-hmm.
the more they'll know what to do when they get
Yeah.
out there in the world, and it won't be hard for them. And you don't want them to feel like they're a burden.
Mm-hmm. I love that my daughter says that her relationship was with me is different than her friends' relationships with their mothers.
Hmm.
She
Oh
could
yeah.
be firm, but I love that she says that because I do communicate with her. I'm tough on my kids, but
Right.
I do listen to what they have to say because I value them as people.
Hmm.
And one day I want them changing my diapers and me not being in a nursing home. So I got to
Listen,
treat them nice now. just in
I'm
case.
telling you, my children, my advice to them, listen, get these top careers, make this top money, because I need to be in the top nursing home, okay?
Stop quality. Round the clock care,
Listen.
pampered. Like I need to
As a
be in
matter of fact,
a
I want to
hospital.
live in my own home, but just have the round the clock here. You know, they gonna come and care for me in my own space.
Right.
Because I can't, I don't know about the home. But then I'm gonna feel like I need some old friends or something.
I know. That's why you got to be in the nursing home. But apparently, this is episode for another day. In nursing homes, there's lots of sex happening. So lots of STDs. Did you know old people have so many STDs?
Did not.
This is not something I should be smiling about, but it was like, oh, really? Yeah, how was that here?
Old folks are
Uh,
doing it. I guess, hey, listen, when I get old, I may still want to get
a little bit of.
getting jiggy with it.
I don't think I
Listen.
will. I'll be so tired from working my entire life. I'll be like, just lay beside me and hold my hand.
Like,
I
we
don't
can
want
just
to do
hold
anything.
hands. Come on,
Let's
let's
just
just
hold hands.
stand close to me. Touch my
Just
shoulder.
yeah, do this. Stand behind me with your hands like this,
Put your hand like
like a
this, and I'll hit
perfect
one of
picture
these, and we'll
pose.
just.
That is all I need in my ripe old age of I may live to 60 or 5 o'clock
Listen,
tonight.
we're mid age.
We're
We're like in the,
middle-aged
almost at
women.
middle age. We're not even, we're not old yet.
Listen,
Mid age is not
middle
50.
age for me.
Middle age is
40 or
not
so.
50, guys. Stop letting people tell you that.
It's a lie. It's a lie. If the life expectancy of a black woman is 78, you can fact check on that if you want to. And the life expectancy, nope, black woman is 72. Life expectancy of a black man is 68. Then I already hit middle
What?
age a while ago.
Oh my God, I'm in middle
Real
age
life
right now,
expectancy of the
Jesus.
woods is like 77. And then like 82 for Canadians. I don't know what they're doing up there that they get 10 more years than us, but it's
That
longer.
just tells me we need to move to Canada. No,
That sounds accurate.
get 10 extra years. I'm moving to
I
Canada.
would move to Canada for 10 extra years.
Listen, why not? We have friends
But it's
there.
like, is it 10 extra vibrant years or 10 extra years and I'm like in a bed on a ventilator?
Oh no,
Or I'm
I'll
like in
stay
a
here for
wheelchair.
that. And if I'm in a bed on a ventilator, just minus
See, yeah,
them
never.
10. But
So
I plan to be vibrant my entire time of living. So
I mean, once you catch up to me, then
they
we'll
gonna slow. Look, I'm gonna just go peacefully like
when you that's how you gonna go in your sleep looking exactly the same right now. When I'm 82, I hope that I look like this. And I
This will
get up
be
out
my
of
85
here.
face.
I would be fine with looking exactly like this, but like in a
That's my 80. You saw my wrinkles? Did
let
I?
me see it. Do it. Where the
That's my 85 face. That's how I'm looking.
I love it. Your 85 faces is beautiful.
Listen, that's gonna be my 85 face.
See, I'm not gonna do that because when I make that face, nobody laugh at me. I'll be like,
I don't care about the internet. I can be ugly on the internet.
I
It
feel like
doesn't
my
matter.
lips are gonna get thinner, and then these little eyebrows that I don't have will be completely gone.
Mine, oh
You look
gosh.
so good. You look so great. So before we get
Jeez.
off on a tangent, because I feel like now we've had a lot of wine and I'm really like my ears are hot. This has been a great episode of You Better Fact Check because I had wine first. This episode was about parenting, and it's not that hard. Maybe for you, not for us, not for a lot of people. It's a joy, a pleasure, and the understanding of a person that'll one day be like big and stupid like you is great to meet them and to help them grow and be a full whole human one day. Right now they may be annoying and agitating and kind of gangly and ugly, but they're gonna be a swan. And then it's also fine if they stay a duck. At the end of the day, parenting is not hard. It's what you make of it. You can take lemons and make lemonade, or you can just have lemons because lemons are fine too.
Yeah.
So this has been Monni and Andrea with You Better Fact Check because I had one first. See you next time.
Bye.